Hey, Most High God bless. Most High God bless. Oh my God. I hope y'all blessed, having a blessed day. I wanted to just say this real quick, man. I'm seeing it now. There's the shift in the mentalities of a lot of people. Where it's I mean, it's always been this shift. It's always been this not necessarily shift, but this so what is it called? A SOCUS? This ridge, this divide, this gap between mentalities, right? Which is the modest, righteous mentality, and then there's the salacious, hypersexual mentality. And I won't say which one is good or which one is bad, because that's subjective. Like, a person that's living their life salaciously may say that the modest is too oppressed mentally, and the person that's living their life modestly will say that the salacious individual is living their life a little bit too reckless. So I won't, get into the minutia of trying to articulate which position I think is superior and which one is inferior. However, I will say, for the individuals on the modest side of the household, for you all, man, stop trying to articulate your position to people who are not willing to receive what you have to say. You're wasting your time, right? Many of the fellas, you all, it's funny to me, it's comical really, when I listen to men try to articulate to whores why they shouldn't be sleeping around, right? SCDs, y'all, you can give all of the logic you want to, but if a person has already within their mind made the justification for their actions, there's nothing that you can say that's going to change their mind. They've justified it within themselves, right? For example, if I have made it in my spirit to get my college degree, right, and I'm working toward this tirelessly, and I continue to work toward this thing, it's nothing that anyone can tell me that's going to make me, deviate from my path, right? Because I've decided this within myself. You could give me all the, well, college degrees are useless, and there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get into the grad school that you want, and all of this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not changing my mind. I've started this, so this is what I'm sticking with. And that's the same mentality that a lot of these sisters and young brothers have with their lifestyle, right? We cannot try to save people from themselves, right? What did the master say in scripture? When the disciples are watching these people do what they got going on, he say, leave them, because if the blind leadeth the blind, surely they all go into a ditch. I'm way past the era and mentality where I try to save people from their own damnation. That's not my job. Right? If a young woman doesn't understand the importance of modesty, then let her reap the consequences of salacious behavior. If a young man, young male, young man, young woman, young male doesn't understand the consequences of being foolish and hasteful and frivolous with his behavior, right? Conducting himself unbecoming. If he doesn't understand the consequences of that, of not doing that, then let him reap the consequences of that action, right? Let these people learn. Let them learn the hard way. That's how most of us learned, the hard way, right? And unfortunately, right, and I know we are trying to do the right thing, but, you could be preventing somebody from learning that lesson they need to learn. Don't tell that person to reach out to their dying family member. Let the family member die and let the person reap the consequences of that, and then I bet they'll do it differently the next time. And if they don't, guess what? You're going to keep learning the same lesson. Right? If you don't study for an exam, you fail the exam, right? It's the same thing. Many of these young brothers and sisters are in the situations that they're in and the mental states that they're in, right? I.e. hate men, i.e. hate all women, i.e. hypersexual, i.e. revengeful and wrathful because of their own actions, right? Let them continue to live that life. Let them continue to live that life. Let them waste their lives. Let them do it. Right? And to the wise man, how wise truly are you? Right? If you are continuing to go and give advice to fools who don't receive your advice, how wise then are you? Now, if God send you, if the Most High send you, and He on a mission, then likewise do it. But this is a lesson I had to learn. I don't speak wisdom to fools anymore. I crack jokes with fools. Why? Because wisdom is wasted on a fool. Right? What do King Solomon tell us? Just like the limbs of a lame man are uneven, so is a parable in the mouth of a fool. Right? So I have no more time to waste on individuals who have demonstrated, and you all should also. You should waste no time demonstrating and articulating and trying to use rationale and logic to individuals whose minds are so far separated from anything rational or morally guiding. You see what I'm saying? That they live in the life they live in. Let them cook. Let them fry. Let them waste their life, let them hate love, and let them get to the end of this one life that we have and realize that they wasted it doing stuff that they thought was right, but was wrong the whole way. Right? King Solomon tells us this in Proverbs. A man's ways seem right unto itself, but the end thereof is death. Right? A whore, when she's sleeping around, sleeping with a married man and all of this, she thinks it's just, it happened to me, so she having fun. She enjoying that until that married woman pull up with a gun. Right? Until somebody want to, get back at you for it. That's the consequences of your actions. What they say, you reap what you sow. So we have to stop wasting our time with people, man. Stop wasting your time with people who are unwilling to receive it. Now, if they go through a life-changing circumstance and then they are willing to receive the knowledge now, then sit and listen and don't be harsh to them. Sit and articulate some things to them and break it down so that they can move in a more righteous way, a more excellent way. But until then, let them learn the lesson, because it's nothing that I can teach you that God can't teach you. Right? It's no lesson I can teach you better than God. And sometimes the lessons that some of you all need to learn are going to be lessons that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life, i.e. sexually transmitted diseases, i.e. children with a woman you hate, i.e. friends of the court, these things, right? i.e. having to look over your shoulder, i.e. guilt from your past behavior, these things, right? i.e. not no one wanting to be in a relationship with you because of your past, right? That's both male and female. You know what I'm saying? You just got to let them all learn from experience. That's the only way that you can. Who is that? Which one is that? Male branch that we learn from experience. Our perception of reality is solely based on our sensory intake and our brain's ability to form decisions based off things we've experienced. You understand what I'm saying? I believe that's male branch. It's either male branch or Locke. But anyway, that's the message for today. Let them folks learn. Stop putting whores on podcasts and being surprised when they don't want to hear anything about a righteous woman. Stop putting fools on podcasts and being upset when they don't understand a way that a man should govern himself, right? If I have to articulate to a man or have to explain to a man the importance of having self-control and discipline, then clearly, this is not a man. And if he doesn't want to receive the knowledge, then clearly this is not the path that he set out to be on. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to stop wasting our time with people. Let them cook. When they see that happily married woman with her kids and her husband, they're going to feel away inside because they can't have that. Why? Not because that they were not allowed to have it, but because of their own actions, they deprived themselves of it. When that young man see that woman that he used to be in a relationship with, happily married with 2 kids, right? And he gonna be mad at that man that found that woman and appreciated her. Why? Because he never had the capacity to an understanding. You see what I'm saying? So let these people learn their lessons, man. Life is too short to waste my breath on a fool, right? I would rather suffocate and drown than waste my breath on a fool. I would rather try to drink all the water from the bottom of the ocean than waste my time articulating anything outside of a fool's understanding to him. If you can't understand it as simply as it's made, then clearly it's not for you to receive. Most High God bless, man.